And who do we have next coming up for the next match?
So it looks like Rote Capel is still seeding their next match, which would have been versus Test, who unfortunately had to seed their first match. So interestingly, we're having Test advance in the lower bracket for match. So next will be so Associated Solar Company versus RVB are going to land on grid in a few moments, and then it will be Castabouts and the Kamikaze Dragoons. So Eve Uni versus the PC Corp group that, as we talked about before, showed up and just destroyed in the Alliance tournament. People wouldn't think that an NPC starter corp could pull together this team that could hang, and they advanced pretty far into the AT this year.
The really cool thing I like about Castabouts is once you join any other corp in the game, you can't get back into the starter corp. The only way to get into that is to never leave it to begin with when you start your character. So these are guys that have never left the starter corp. And most people, when they're roaming through low sec or null sec, and they see a ship that looks like it could maybe be waiting for a fight, and they check the info and they see it's like only got one corp, but it's a noob corp. They go, oh, this will be easy. So in they go, and then they suddenly get absolutely melted. Surprise of just not expecting it. It's just so good. I love the concept of it, and to be that hardcore, to be never leaving the noob corp just to get surprised, it's awesome.
Yeah, we also I don't know how many have kept tabs on this Black Frog Freight, because if you also see a noob corp, you also think a lot of times Sino alts, but there was somebody who created a fake Black Frog that looked real that was doing some covert ops, Black Ops Sinos recently, and getting some interesting kills in a similar fashion, just kind of tricking people into getting not what they think.
So it looks like the teams are both landing on field now.
Oh, ooh, interesting. So we see RVB bringing a Punisher Thorax double Brudix Punisher setup. So very heavy armor, but also some really good DPS versus a Thorax Vexor, Blackbird Vexor, and a Brudix. So two similar teams, but one opting for kind of a heavy tackle Frigg and the other going with the E-War Cruiser. That could be very crucial.
Yeah, for sure. That Blackbird could be devastating if the jams land just so. We did see this double Brutix Thorax Punisher comp earlier on, if I'm not mistaken, and it did pretty well.
Really curious how this Blackbird, if it's gonna make a big change in this match. There will be some jams. And he's far away. I want to see this Blackbird. To me, is the linchpin of this comp. There's a lot of burning to do too for the double Brutix team. They got a long way to travel, and that whole time they're gonna be dealing with the Vexor drones, Thorax drones.
We will be starting in the next minute. We're about to get the countdown in local.
So with that, we're going to switch over to the arena camera, and we can see RVB in at 0 with their Brutix comp. They've got those two Punishers for tackle and that Thorax as well, and sitting at range, they've got Brutix, Vexor, Blackbird, Vexor, and Thorax. So that Blackbird, and like you say, Lysis, that is a lot of burning to do, and I mean, those two Vexors, they can apply a lot of damage, but what are they going to go for? Are they going to go for the tackle, or are they going to try and get that damage down in the Thorax? I mean, what do you think?
I think they're probably going to have to put it on the tackle, because the Punishers are going to get there much faster than the other ships. So this is going to be the immediate threat.
And we're underway.
Punishers are tanky, though, so we're going to see this.
Immediately boosts coming from the RVB team there. Nothing so far from the Volta team.
Ooh, are these rail Brutixes?
I believe they are.
Very interesting match then.
Yeah, I mean, if there weren't rail Brutixes, coming at 50 is a strong choice.
And we see the Thorax immediately diving in and taking damage, going after this Blackbird.
Yeah, getting that Blackbird down is crucial, and he's lost all his shields now, so he stopped taking damage unless he is armor tanked.
Which you can reasonably armor tank and still jam pretty well, so I wouldn't be totally surprised. That Punisher doing a good job holding him down, it looks like. Thorax and Thorax and the Blackbird are rushing to see who dies first, but it looks like they might get the Blackbird first before this Punisher and Thorax.
Gone.
Blackbird's down.
And that Thorax is taking a lot of damage now, but without that Blackbird, there should be more consistent damage applied to the Volt team now.
Yeah, so this match is still up in the air because yes, they just lost a Blackbird, which was a big part of their comp.
But there goes the Thorax.
Yeah, they just lost the Thorax just went down for that team. So it really leaves them the 2 Brutixes against a Brutix, 2 Vexers, and a Thorax. So,
but now the other Thorax going down. So this is the tipping point right here, is what's the next ship to go? And there's no easy death from any of the RVB side, but I'm going to say if they are able to catch one of these Vexers, these Brutixes of the RVB team are going to be able to take it.
And we are seeing a lot of people very close to the boundary now, so...
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're burning right there at about 90k, 98 even. We got a really close one.
Do you think these are whole Brutixes?
I think they are. I mean, who doesn't fit a hull Brutix?
They could even be straight rep, because you can still get good armor without sacrificing speed if you go that route. And you get the bonus. I wouldn't count either option out.
Good call to priming the Vexes, I think, for the RVP team.
Absolutely, and I think after this
Demonic
Vexer
Sand
goes down,
just exploded there from Vault.
Yeah, so now we're seeing
that's it.
a Volition Cult Brutix out of the boundary now. He's 105, and the Punisher chasing him across the boundary. So they now have only about 20 seconds left to cross back into the arena before they are disqualified.
And he's continuing to burn, but this Punisher that chased him out is also going down.
He's really out there. That Brutix, that's massive.
Yeah, he's just declined to play anymore. He's off. He's aligned to the sun and he's gone.
We're gonna have to check this Punisher fit because they're saying the Punisher is jamming. We gotta tell if that's direct or that's just the EC drone.
There are EC drones out there.
I see them out, but
Punisher's also out now too.
So now the entire remaining competitors are now outside the arena.
I think one Brutix is still inside.
Nope,
right?
he's gone now. He's gone now. He's 100.
The final Brutix, which means that unless they all pull back in, RVB will either take this by killing him or take this through remaining in the boundary for just a few seconds longer than this ASC team.
Okay, one Brutix is coming back. He's coming back. So he's like, RVB Brutix is coming back.
So at least one of us will not boundary violate so that we can pull out the victory.
But I'm pretty sure this ACS Brutix has been way out of the boundary for the longest here.
Oh yeah, he is just gone. He's practically warped to the station at this point.
Yeah.
He is coming back in, but he did reach like 130. That is a strong choice. Not the most pro piloting we've seen today.
They're just lucky they didn't just insta explode. I'm sure that would have been surprising to quite a few of them.
Yeah, I'm sure Bay was sitting here with an itchy trigger finger.
But at least the way the match went, even though there is still an ACS Brutix up, it wasn't looking like they were gonna win just at all because they still had to go against the 2 other Brutixes back in the arena. But pretty much the match is over.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the ASV A6 Brown pilot was out of the arena for a long time. I do believe 30 seconds is the limit. This is a bit different from the regular tournaments. Normally, you hit the boundary and you just explode in a great ball of fire. However, in this tournament, you are allowed to go outside the boundary as long as you return within 30 seconds. That Brutix, I do believe, was out for a lot longer than that, so he has been morally exploded.
If multiple ships are outside the boundary, is it the team that crossed first loses? Like if at the end of 30
in this
seconds...
case, yes, because that remaining Brutix was the sole Brutix from that team. He boundary violated first, and RVB still remained with one ship inbound. So that will mean that even if all the other 3 ships boundary violated, there's still 1 left from RVB that remained in. So that we'll call it a match.
I really love the use of links in this fight. Like the double brutix is, they can have 2 links. For the amount of points that they've got to play with, I think that's a smart move. I'm interested to see. I definitely saw armor links there. I'm trying to learn the effects of these new links. Definitely saw armor links on there. Did you see skirmish? I didn't see.
I think it was probably skirmish and armor there. They might have even been 1 link each to keep the utility and guns as a focus as well.
I believe this is the first tournament that's used the new link system. So it'd be really interested to see how this develops over the weekend and how important they are, and whether or not they. I'm really curious to see whether or not we see any command destroyers.
We've seen 1 or 2 kiting. We had 1 kiting. We had a Magus and a. I'm sorry, I can't remember the other one, but we have had 2 command destroyers already.